In this episode, I share what a toddler tantrum taught me about listening to the universe. So let's get started.
Hi, I'm Katie, and after many years as a struggling single mum, I transformed into a highly successful manifester with multiple businesses, better relationships, financial abundance, and way more peace, joy, and happiness in my life. Each week, I share the real secrets around how to manifest successfully, as well as the amazing and sometimes crazy lessons I've learned along the way, so that you can apply it all to your own manifesting, transforming your life from the inside out. This is That Manifesting Podcast.
I'm back. Hello. It's lovely to be back with you after a little break. So much has happened and I've got loads to share with you. I won't do it all today because we'd be here until next week, but I have got a lot to share. I've been on my holiday with my supermodel looking daughter. We had a great time. We also had a challenging time, which I will talk to you more about in this episode. But I had some really interesting revelations about manifesting whilst I was away. I was documenting them all in my notes on my phone because I knew that they would help you when I came back. And this always seems to happen to me when I go away. I get all these downloads from the universe or from my higher self, new lessons, new insights, and I just get so excited to share them with you. I'm like some weird little Yoda, like bobbing around, writing things, a modern day Yoda, writing things in my notes, all these wisdom ready to share with you. So I'm going to get straight into it. And it's 5 lessons that the universe literally smacked me in the face with whilst I was away on holiday. I went away to Cyprus. It was beautiful. It's my favourite place on earth. I've been taking my daughter there since she was 2. And we went this year with my grandson. Yes, I am too young to have a grandson, but here we are. He's gorgeous. I love him to bits. And it was his first time abroad. It was fun and challenging and all the things. We had all the emotions all going on in 2 weeks. But as I said, I'll come on to that in a bit. But the first thing that I wanted to share was my experience with the sea. Don't worry, I didn't get swept away or bitten by a shark or, I don't know, saved by a hunky lifeguard or anything. Sadly not. But there is this place, when I meditate, I used to find it really hard to meditate. And there's a place in Cyprus where you can walk down towards the sea, and they've got like this, it's almost like an outlook. It's all wooden structure, but they've got benches and you can sit on these benches and you can look out and you can see the sea. The sea is right in front of you. You can hear it, and there's something about the beach, the sea, that just fills me up. I just love it so much. And I haven't been to Cyprus for a few years. And the one thing that I couldn't wait to get back to was that little looking out at the sea. And I go there, and when I meditate, what I was going to talk about was, I used to find it really hard to focus on meditation. So what I would do is I would visualize this little being at this lookout at the sea in Cyprus, and it would always relax me. So the thought of going back there this year was really exciting, because for the last few years, all I've had is my visualizing being at that lookout. So to go back there was just gorgeous. It was like being in my own meditation, bringing it all to life. And when I was sat there, I was just watching the sea. The first day I went there, it was particularly choppy, quite big waves, really noisy sea, and I just loved it. But I was watching and I thought, do you know what? We have to be more like the sea. Stick with me. I promise this is going to make sense in a moment. I promise. I'm not drunk or anything. But the sea, it keeps coming into shore, no matter what stands in its way. Whether there's rocks, people swimming, the weather, the sea keeps coming. it keeps moving, it keeps going no matter what. Sometimes the sea has to be forceful and it's large waves and it's crashing against things, but it keeps going. But then sometimes it can be really calm and very still. But either way, it keeps coming all the time. And it just made me feel like it was a bit of a metaphor for people in their own life. We can have challenges standing in our way. We can have bad things happening around us, but we have to keep going. If we want to manifest a different life, you have to keep going. That feels like, I feel like I'm some sort of Yoda philosopher. It feels good, but but no, that was the first thing that I really learnt, that really hit me in the face. And I thought, yeah, we have to be more like the sea. The next time something's challenging you, the next time something's feeling difficult, remember the sea keeps on going no matter what the circumstances, and things will be calmer again. You might have to exert a little bit more effort, a little bit more of an action, but you can do it. You just have to be more like the sea. Do you like that? I hope you like that. The next one was really about my grandson. And as I said, I just adore him. He's at that funny age. He's 2.5 nearly. And everything to me is hilarious that he's trying to say and do. And as I said, I've been taking my daughter to Cyprus for many, many years, since she was the same age that he is right now. And we kind of, although we absolutely love it, we just get used to the magic of it, you know, being able to go to the beach and seeing all the pretty things that you see. And it's just sort of second nature to us because we go there so much. But with it being my grandson's first time, it allowed us to see things through a whole new set of eyes, because for him, everything was a complete wow moment. We were walking down the street and they've got these beautiful fountains that are chucking up water in the air, and they've got lights and all of this stuff. And he just turned around and he looked at it and he said, wow! Like, he was so excited. And then there were these different sort of street lights that looked like globes, and he was looking up and he was going, wow, bubble. And we were like, yeah, it's a bubble light. And literally everything for him was wildly exciting. Now, it was just a fountain and it was just a light. But for him, it was fantastic and amazing and exciting. And it made me think that when we're kids, we do see things through the lens of magic. There's so much excitement that we can see around us when we're kids. And as we grow up and we start to see the world differently and we have these different experiences, it tends to put a whole new light on things and we lose that magic. And so that's one thing that I learned, was to see the world through the eyes of a child. There's so much to be excited and grateful for. When I came back, the weather was shockingly bad. It was awful. But then we had this glorious sunny day, and I decided to see that day through the eyes of a child. And then it became exciting, and I was thinking, oh, what can I do today? And I planned out this day of exciting things to do in the sun. Actually, it wasn't exciting, because what I ended up doing was doing some gardening, and I nearly broke my back, my arms, and my head just wanted to fall off because it was that stressful. I hate gardening. But the intention was there. The intention was there for it to be a really fun day, because I chose to see the world differently, even the small things. And when you can do that, you start to raise your vibration, your energetic alignment to what you want to manifest, because you're choosing to see the world as something exciting, not something that's just mundane and everyday. And it could be something as small as, I don't know, having a takeaway. And you know that you get your favourite takeaway and you're just like, yes, this is great. see it through the world, see the world through the eyes of a child. Have that excitement, because the more you can raise your vibration, the more you can raise your energy, the closer you become to the things that you want to manifest. So see the world through the eyes of a child. Now, speaking of said child, as I said, up front, full disclaimer, I love him, I adore him, but boy can he tantrum. I have never, ever experienced anything like it. He has the stubbornness of my daughter and me and all our previous women that have just been the most stubborn people on earth. He's got all of that combined. And being a little boy, he's also a complete whirlwind. If he doesn't want to do something, oh, he won't do it. And I was absolutely astounded in a good way with how my daughter dealt with his tantrums. Well, let me tell you. So there was one night, and we have a favourite restaurant in Cyprus, and we decided to go there. So I went and booked us a table, and my grandson gets really, really angry if he gets woken up from a nap. He loves his sleep, so if he's woken up early, he hates it. So I'd booked us in for this restaurant, and he hadn't napped all day. He was really grumpy. I said to my daughter, right, I'll take him out for a walk in the pushchair. You get ready for the meal. Then I'll come back with him. We'll swap over and I'll get ready. She was like, yeah, good idea. So I took him out, and within maybe 2.5 minutes, he was fast asleep, literally fast asleep in the pushchair. And I was thinking, okay, it's quite close to when we're going out for a meal. This could be awful, because if we have to wake him up to eat, he's not going to be happy. So I took him back to the hotel, and my daughter said, it's fine, just let him sleep in the pushchair. If he misses the meal, it's not a problem. We'll just get him something else later when he wakes up. So that's what we did. So I got ready, we went down to the restaurant, we were really excited, we looked at the menu, he's still fast asleep in the pushchair, we're thinking, great, this is great. Ordered our food, and the minute they started bringing the food out, he just sat up, bolt upright in his pushchair. I looked at my daughter, and she said to me, don't look him in the eye. It was like talking about a gremlin. She said, don't look him in the eye, don't interact with him, just let him wake up in his own time. But it reminded me of, you know, the thriller films where you think the murderer is dead and he's laying out on the floor, and then all of a sudden he just sits up bolt upright. That was what my grandson did. So we didn't look at him, we didn't give him any eye contact. They put the food on the table, and I just heard, the pushchair was sort of behind me, and I just heard him go, and off he tantrumed. I quickly, because I didn't want to disturb any other diners, I quickly whipped him out of the pushchair. I said to my daughter, you start eating, I'll go out with him. So I went out with him, and we walked out the restaurant, and at first he was doing that thing that toddlers do when they go all rigid. He didn't want me to hold him, and he was hitting me, and he was really angry. The moment we got out of the restaurant, his eyes lit up, he started smiling, he was cuddling me, he was happy, he was wowing at the bubble lights, he was wowing at people walking past, at cars, at buses, and I thought, oh great, he just wanted a little cuddle. Walked back into the restaurant. The moment I walked back in, the tantrum resumed. And so I went back out again. And this pattern continued. I'd go out, he'd be happy, I'd bring him back in, he'd lose his shit. So then my daughter said, let's swap over. And she took him out, and the same thing was happening for her. He just did not want to be in the restaurant. In the end, we ended up maybe having not even a quarter of the meal, and we just decided it was best to leave. So I said to the waiters, can we just have the bill? Really sorry, but this is not going to work. Just give us the bill. And they were giving us those sympathetic eyes, and probably quite glad that we were leaving. So anyway, we put him back in the pushchair, went outside, And again, the minute we went outside, he was smiling, he was wow, wow, bubbles, wow, wow, car, wow. And I just thought, oh, you little toad. I spent, 50, 60 euros on a meal that we'd barely eaten, and now he decides that he's going to be happy. And so we had quite a number of those things. And there were often times where I just thought, oh, I can't listen to this. And I had to walk away. I had to remove myself. It's been so long since I've dealt with a small child constantly. It was like nails down a chalkboard when he started screaming. And I thought, oh, I should be helping her more. And then I'll go back and try and help my daughter. And she'd be like, no, it's fine. And that really was what gave me this next lesson. And it was watching my daughter deal with his tantrums. She does find it hard. She lets herself feel emotional, or, she feels bad, or she feels upset. But I said to her, how do you just keep so calm? And she said, because I know it's all going to be okay. She said, I know that this tantrum is just a temporary thing. He's going to be absolutely fine. I just have to get through this next tantrum. And I thought that's such an important lesson for life, because not that we're all tantruming all over. Well, maybe you do tantrum all over the place. I feel like it sometimes. But we do have these really tough, challenging situations, and it can be so easy to get lost in the emotion of it and the detail of it and feel like this is it. Life is crap. But actually, something better is coming. And just like my daughter, she enjoys every single moment she has with her son, whether he's happy or not, because she's always prepared for the next tantrum. She accepts it's going to happen, but she doesn't fret. She doesn't focus on it. She just goes with the flow, deals with each situation as it comes up, and she doesn't let it affect her relationship with him. She's just a magical parent. She's so amazing. I'm so proud of her. But we have to be more like tantrums. When life throws a tantrum at us and it's something we don't want to deal with, we have to remember that there's something better on the other side of that tantrum. And that's what you focus on. You just get through the tantrum, the life tantrum, the breakup, the unexpected bill, the argument with somebody at work. It's just another one of life's tantrums. It's not going to last forever. Might feel uncomfortable, might feel a little bit painful, not enjoyable, but something better's coming at the end of it. So we have to look at life like a bit of a tantrum when things are bad. Okay, so the next thing that I learnt whilst I was away was to remember just how far you've come in life, because quite often we achieve so much, but we acknowledge so little. I have spoken many times on this podcast about my background, how it was for me as a young single parent with my daughter. And whilst I was away, I watched her with my grandson at the exact same age that she was when I first took her to Cyprus. And I just had a realisation about just how much I'd evolved. I have been really, really focused on what I want in life. All cards on the table. I think I've shared many times before, I have a marketing company, and in all honesty, it doesn't light me up anymore. This stuff that I'm doing, mentoring people with their manifestations, is what lights me up. Seeing the complete transformations that I get to help people to have, seeing them finally manifesting the money, the love, the happiness, the peace, the confidence that they've always wanted, and knowing that I have helped them do that, that lets me feel like I've made some sort of mark on the world. And I want to do more of it. I want to speak to as many people and reach as many people across the world as I can. And that's what I want to do with my life. Now, realistically, I still have to keep going with the marketing business, because That's what pays the bills, the majority of the bills. That is my primary source of income. I have a great income from helping people with their manifesting, but it's not enough to sustain the lifestyle that I enjoy right now. And I've really, I guess, been quite hard on myself, thinking I should have been able to do this by now. I should have been able to make that transition, to lose that one business and step into this new thing. And because I haven't, I've been a little bit down on myself. But when I was away, and like I say, I was watching my daughter with my grandson, and I just remembered what it was like to be there in Cyprus with her at that age. And I had this massive realisation at just how much I'd achieved. If you'd have gone back to me back then in 2005 when she was 2 and said, do you know what? 20 odd years from now, you're going to have 2 successful businesses. You're going to own your own home. You're going to have more money than you ever thought you could possibly have. Your daughter's going to grow up to be happy and healthy and beautiful and clever. You're going to have some of the best friendships that you could ever have hoped to wish for. I would never have believed that that was a reality for me. And so we do have to remember how far you've come, and you might not feel like, okay, well, I haven't achieved everything that I want to. That's okay. I'm pretty sure that every single one of you could look back 5, 10, 15, 20 years and see something that's different in a good way. Something that you've achieved. And you know what? It's okay to be proud of yourself. Even if you've had to deal with difficult moments and you look back and you think, oh, probably didn't deal with that in the best way. It doesn't matter, because the fact is you dealt with it, you carried on, you moved on. And that is something to be proud of. So never ever forget just how far you've come. They don't have to be life-changing events. They can be little things. Being able to pay all your bills every month, that's a huge thing. That was a huge thing for me. There's so much to be proud of, so don't forget how far you've come. And, okay, we're going to come on to the last thing. And this is the one that I am most proud of. If you've been listening for a while, you will know that I set myself a challenge of eating dinner all by myself. No company, no book, no nothing, just sat there, just me, myself and I, eating dinner. I did it. I had dinner by myself in Cyprus. So not only did I have dinner by myself, but I also did it in a foreign country where I was surrounded by happy couples, families, all of that jazz. I ate my first meal alone. Not only that, I did it twice. Now, where's the lesson? Okay, the lesson is I've been talking about doing this for ages, and I've had lots of opportunities to do it, to make it happen. And it might seem like something really silly and little to other people, but to me it was a massive thing, because I was really scared at the thought of eating by myself. I just thought people would feel sorry for me, or they'd think I was weird or something like that. So it was something I really resisted, but I knew for my own personal growth it was a limiting belief that I had to get over by taking action and actually doing it. I've been talking about it for ages and I never did it. So this is kind of what, well, not kind of, this is definitely what happens in life. If you set out to achieve something and it's something that you really want, the universe will give you signs that it's time to act. It will give you opportunities to take action to move you closer to what you want to manifest. If you keep ignoring it, the universe will drop a shit ton of bricks on your head and give you no other alternative but to take action towards it and do the thing that you need to do. And that's what happened to me. My grandson, God love him, decided to have a huge tantrum in the hotel restaurant. And my daughter had already eaten. I was trying to deal with him. And I said, you eat, I'll focus on him. And so that's what happened. Anyway, he just got worse and worse and worse. And she finished her dinner and she said, I need to take him back to the room. I think he's overtired. I think he just needs to go to sleep. And she said to me, what are you going to do? She said, you haven't eaten yet. And my instinct was to say, oh, it's fine, I won't eat anything, or, oh, I'll just pop to the shop and just get something. And then I had a realisation that this was the opportunity. This was the chance to have something to eat at dinner by myself. And so I took it. I took the opportunity. I said to her, no, I'm going to sit here. I'm going to get some dinner. It was like a buffet style, so you could just sort of go up and get what you wanted when you wanted. So I said, yeah, I will go and get my dinner. And she said, she knows I don't like the thought of eating by myself. And she said, really? You're going to sit on your own and eat? I said, yep, I'm going to have dinner by myself. And she said, okay. And off I think she just disappeared before I could change my mind. And I sat there and I wanted to leave, because I saw everyone looking at me, and immediately the thought started, does everyone think that we've just had a massive argument and she's walked out the restaurant? Does everyone think this, blah, 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 blah. And of course, no one cares about me, and they're all enjoying their holiday. And that's what I had to keep telling myself. Nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares, nobody cares. And that made me stay. I went up, I got my dinner, I went back, I sat down, got a drink, and no book, no iPad, no phone, just me and my big dinner. And you know what? It was really good. And it was not as scary. Once I was doing it, it was nowhere near as scary as I'd built it up to be in my mind. And I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of myself. I know it's a little thing, like I say, for other people, but for me it was huge. But it was something I had to do, because it was one of the last things that I had to tick off my list of being too scared to do, but knowing I had to do it. And so, yeah, I had my first meal alone. And that was the lesson, was if you keep ignoring signs from the universe that it's time to act, something massive will happen, and it will smack you right in the face and say, act now. And that's what happened with me. And that's all I wanted to share with you today. Really just a little bit of a chat about my holiday and the things I've learnt. It's so lovely to be back. As always, connect with me on social media. You'll find me at The Manifesting Mindset, wherever you normally listen. Not wherever you normally listen, wherever you normally find your social media, whether it's TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the lot. I'm all over the place. Me, just a little weird Yoda type person, bobbing around social media, sharing manifesting advice. But also, I have got a brand new secret podcast coming up, and that is all about how to manifest love. It's specifically about the 3 subconscious mistakes that you could be making that are actually stopping you from manifesting love, even if you feel really positive about your dating life. If you want to get on that, it's not going to be available on any podcast platform. You have to sign up for it. It is a secret podcast. You have to register to receive it. I'll leave the details in the show notes for you. Or you can click the link in any of my bios on social media and you will be able to register. It is dropping very, very soon. Completely free. Series of probably 2, 3, maybe 4 episodes. So yeah, if you want to manifest love, grab that. Get on that registration list and I will send it to you as soon as it's released.
So that's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for joining me. If you've enjoyed listening, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe and leave a review, because it really does help me to reach more people. I've left some links in the show notes so you can connect with me, or you can grab one of my manifesting resources. Until next week, sending you lots of love, light and manifesting vibes.